Native people, Native culture, Native knowledge. Hi, I'm Jeannie Green, bringing you award-winning Heartbeat Alaska.
Bringing you national and international Native news, this is award-winning Heartbeat Alaska, the premier Native voice in Native programming.
There's a heartbeat, louder thunder, revolution is in the air. There's a heartbeat deep inside our mother. Are you too cool to
Now, with Heartbeat Alaska, here's Jeannie Green.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Green. Thank you for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska. If you're a first-time viewer, Heartbeat Alaska features stories from villages across the north. We feature stories from Canada and also from the lower 48. I'm holding in my hands a beautiful piece of artwork. It's a basket from the Seminole Tribe in Florida. We traveled to Florida today and learned more about the Seminole Tribe right after this.
At the age of 12, I was sure of myself.
Support for this program provided by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alaska. We've been here since before Alaska was a state, and we'll be here when you need us. We're here. We're with you. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alaska.
Hey everyone, help us welcome one of our new sponsors, Wave Wholesale Company, your one-stop supply source for village retail stores, food service customers, and government agencies. Welcome aboard, Wave.
Waka, kuya na tamakci kayo ko Heartbeat Alaska.
We travel to Florida on Heartbeat Alaska today and visit with the Seminole Tribe there. Are you ready for some native fun in the sun?
Come on, come on! It's such a...
nature differences. He was trying to bite me there. But he doesn't get to be as big because this guy here, living as old as he does, he can take down bigger prey, where the common snapper doesn't live as long. So he can't take down prey that's that big. You know.
Executive Suite Hotel is the official hotel of Heartbeat Alaska. When you come to town, make sure you stay there and ask for your free Heartbeat Alaska baseball hat. One per registration, please.
Good morning. As you know, my name is Danny Jumper. I'm with Seminole Broadcasting. What we're going to attempt to do today is hopefully in our first of our series of a language program that we want to work on in our first 6 months of the year. And we're here at the Native Village. And one of the people that I have asked to give us a tour, hopefully of just only the native animals and the native snakes. And I know that you do a pretty good introduction of this for tourism and stuff, but I want to kind of keep it short so we can, Carol and I can follow along, and hopefully we can do it in our language in Miccosukee. And also I want to introduce Carol, who's going to be my assistant today. Well, I'm going to be her student today. So if Carol, you got anything to say, maybe we could start us off in Miccosukee. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the panthers and go through to the alligators and then to the deer and to the snakes. Carol, you have anything to say?
Not really.
How, Alaska?
Himitawa, nakusakon hijik, but you're calling it Hijigam to no one that Manhaglo for the Statia among men, which is farming a match, and up to Sunday, I hope, Honanutska, the Pomahayatkan, at the Statue Litia, I love to Yamasha.
James, if you're ready, you can, get us set on the first introduction, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, what we have right here in this area are two of our Florida panthers that we have here. The Florida panther is also called the southeastern cougar. Growing to about 9 feet from tip of nose to tail, it'll weigh up to 120, 130 pounds, and can jump about 15 feet in the air, preferring to live in drier habitats here in Florida.
Panther, ila poniat kawajubi kiyonda.
Kawajubi.
Fatijina von English and Miccosukee.
Oh. Kawajubi.
Is there any more that you can tell us about the panther?
Sure. When they're born, they usually have up to 3 babies. After breeding time in the spring, they have babies in the mid-fall, and as those babies are born, they have blue eyes and spots. And about the age of 6 months old, they lose those spots, turning a brownish color like you see. The Florida panther is the same as the mountain lion or any other cougar in North America. The mountain lion, the puma, these are all cougars. The only difference between a Florida panther making it special is its ability to swim and live in a harsh environment such as the Everglades. It's a lot lighter and skinnier and built for more speed instead of climbing. The trees here are not really a big climbing atmosphere for the cat, such as mountain lions would have that. Down here, they were known to eat a lot of fish, also a lot of small mammals that they found, and birds. And they were even known to take on small alligators.
How many panthers do you have here?
Estimate, we have 14 panthers here. In the wild, these are all captive born and raised. In the wild, they have an estimated between 100 and 150 left because of less and less habitat for the animal to live in.
Jag tycker mycket för det träning och många det antagligen och man alltså det är kvar så bara
Kowate Ngoa.
Man det jag ingen om jag kowate.
Jag Kowate Ngoa.
Ja. Man det så not lucky mother hijia. Okay, let's move on, James, and see what else we can cover.
Okay, y'all follow me over this way. We'll go meet some bobcats. Okay, what we have right here are the bobcats that are found here. Bobcats are close related to the panther other than the fact they're a lot smaller and more adapted for the tree climbing we have here. The bobcats to this day are still heavily populated throughout the Everglades. As they're out there, they eat small prey such as rabbits, occasionally fish, and a lot of snakes. Now, living all over the Everglades, not just in the big cypress areas, but also all through the sawgrass prairies, all through the entire Everglades, they become very abundant, even moving into residential areas now. estimated lifespan on a bobcat's about 17 years. They live a little bit longer because they're not as big and they don't have as many predators. They're a lot quicker than the Florida panther is.
Bobcat, inga antan kiulo.
Koosje.
Koosje. Stuk maar jata juf kingeli stuk met jat koosje.
Koosje ningo anlege.
Mate ajevni zonum koosje ingo mate bobcat.
Oh jata koosje ningo ma nakusaka koosje ningo.
Koosje.
Koosje.
Mate hello. Again, have you got any more that you can add to?
Yeah. What we have in this facility here, we have 3 bobcats, a large male and a female and a smaller baby that was wild caught. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people are doing a lot of harm towards the bobcat by not only destroying habitat, but also killing the animals. They were big in the fur industry for a while. Now they are coming back, really populative. They have very large ears, and they have excellent hearing, more so than any other animal in the state of Florida, except for maybe the rabbit. And high rate of speed, running up to about 17 to 20 miles an hour from start. And even as a small cat, it still jumps a good 12 to 15 feet in the air.
Okay, thank you, James. Let's see what else we got here. Can we move
what
on?
we can move on next to is I could bring you over and meet the alligators. That's the next area coming up, okay? Follow me. Now, what we have in this area are a couple alligators that we have. This is where we do our alligator lectures and presentations on them. The alligator in the state of Florida averages about 50 years old. They grow about a foot a year for the first 4 years of their life, born at about 6 inches long. And after about 4 years, at 4 feet long, they start slowing down, growing. They never stop growing their whole life. And I think right now the world record is in Louisiana at 19 feet and 2 inches long, which is a really big alligator, not one I'm trying to handle. And here we have several alligators. A lot of them are down in the water. We also have a crocodile over on the side. That crocodile is a crocodile called the Nile crocodile from the Nile River, and it kills and eats more humans than any other predator on the face of the earth. But as a whole, we try to stick with the alligators. Alligators are both for land and water, but they're a lot faster in the water, and a lot of people think they run 40 miles an hour and chase down racehorses, and it's not true. It really isn't. If it was, I'm pretty sure there wouldn't be alligator wrestlers. There'd be an alligator racetrack somewhere. Nowadays, alligators, we're trying to refrain away from the wrestling part and just get into the handling of the alligator, which is a lot better for the animal itself.
Mate alligator here, mate halpotonda.
Ne halpato.
Ita crocodile nga da.
Mot halpati bifashko.
Ja yellow this one don't. Alligator kaya for ke ulzalonda. Mate alligator ke mate halpati.
Yal yuli to halpato ningo.
Oh. Very good. Let's move on.
Okay, well, what we'll do next is we'll walk over and meet a Florida white-tailed deer. Okay? Follow me. Now, what we have right here is what we call a slider turtle. It's also nicknamed the pond cooter. Now this guy here, you'll notice he's striped. Those stripes are really dominant when he's a baby, but as he gets older, those stripes start to fade off and get a lot thinner. Algae grows on the back of the turtle, which help bring fish closer for him to eat. He also has extremely long fingernails. This one's a female because the nails are not as long. Males have nails that grow really long, almost an inch long, for pushing off the bottom and burrowing. Females' nails stay shorter because they had to dig for it to lay their eggs. And they live to be about 20, 27 years old. And from what I understand, it's supposed to be pretty good eating. Want one?
No. Yeah, you should know slider on that. Ane my home you should be knowing as among the Shunabo. Yeah, stripes matum. Man has let at Alona. So you chickitition, so you should have to kill like you or something. Yeah, you should be knowing only. What other turtle you got?
Okay, well, I got another one. This one here is a little bit more famous and he's a lot bigger. It's called the alligator snapping turtle. Let me grab him up real quick.
That's a big
Now
one.
this guy here, the alligator snapping turtle, lives to be about 150 years old. The reason they call him an alligator snapper is because of the little bony ridges on his back. And the reason they call him a snapping turtle is because if you stick your finger in that mouth there, he'll snap it right off of you. This guy can't even swim. He walks around the bottom of lakes and ponds and attracts fish by the wiggling his tongue, which looks like an earthworm. And when they swim in, he just bites them right up and eats them. And he grows to be about 300 pounds.
Yuk chef choban ka chowa longole. Yuk chef kuga wuk chosot mo la me ma chombonte. Yuk chef chobe.
And they come from what, Louisiana or?
Oh yeah, the southeastern United States, everywhere from Georgia all the way up into Virginia and Louisiana and Alabama. A lot of the bayous there.
Are they any relatives to the ones that we know, the smaller
The
snappers?
common snapper.
Right.
Yeah, they are a direct descendant of them. Actually, this is the original. The common snapper is adapted. He's learned how to swim is the major difference. You see, he's trying to bite me there. But he doesn't get to be as big because this guy here, living as old as he does, he can take down bigger prey, where the common snapper doesn't live as long. So he can't take down prey that's that big. He never grows to be large enough.
Yuk chef chobe.
You have another one?
Sure. I've got what we call the gopher tortoise, which is the only tortoise that's actually native to Florida. This is the grandfather of the turtles here in Florida. The gopher tortoise lives to be about 200 years old. But this is about the biggest they get. They don't get very big, and they prefer to live in pine hammocks and in dry areas. He's not a very big swimmer, and he loves to eat cactuses and palmettos and different plants that he can find out in the Everglades.
That's the biggest I've seen. Huh? They're protected too, aren't
Yes, they are. They are an endangered species.
And the Seminoles don't eat them, I know that. Yeah.
They say you can count the age of them on the little plates on his back. They're called scutes. And if you count the rings on it, each one of those rings is 10 years, just like a tree. So this guy here, I could already see he's well over 120 years old.
Yuk
chepelo.
chepele.
Chepele.
Aren't they sort of like territorial? They're not found everywhere?
Yeah, they're not found everywhere. Drier habitats here in Florida, especially in the southern part of the state, like Big Cypress. And being in danger, we don't find many of them because when we're doing agriculture or a lot of people that are poaching snakes will actually gas the burrows of the gopher tortoise, hoping a rattlesnake or another snake will live down in there.
Right.
And that doesn't always work out really good.
He's got neighbors, right?
Yeah.
And then, look him.
Yuk chepele.
Okay.
Okay, well, I got one more turtle. This one here is called the Florida box turtle. Okay. It's a little different. Come over here and grab this guy. Now, the Florida box turtle doesn't grow to be as big as the gopher tortoise, and he's a lot shyer. You see he's closing up his little hinged plate there. The way you can tell he's a Florida box turtle by the beautiful stars that grow on his back. He lives to be about 27 years old and also prefers to eat predominantly, mostly, vegetables. But he will take on a little bit of meat or smaller insects. They also, when they're born, have red eyes, but as they grow older, their eyes will actually turn yellowish green.
Why did they close up like this?
For protection. The bottom of his plate here is hinged right there, and he's got another hinge here. It comes in 3 sections, and when he gets to protect himself, if something were bothering him, he'd close himself up, hence the name box turtle. He can box himself up to where a cat can't open it up to get to the meat on the inside. Once he's placed down, he feels comfortable, it'll open up and he'll crawl away.
Yuk chepolochke.
What is it? What's the shells used for other than sometimes I see people use them for like, you know, shell shakers and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of people also will use them as a small bowl. Survivalists can use it as a bowl. A lot of people say that if you put a turtle like this on the fire and cook it, when it cracks in the middle, it's ready to eat. And then afterwards, it comes in its own bowl. But you could use this for drinking, you could use it for decoration, paperweights, small planters. You could use it for pretty much anything. You would use a decorative bowl.
Yuk chepolochke.
Yuk chepolochke.
Yuk chepolochke.
Okay, well.
Okay, we got the turtles, so what we're moving on to?
Yeah, we're gonna head over towards that deer that we're talking about. We got stopped off here, but yeah, I'm gonna bring you over and introduce you to a large white-tailed deer.
Okay.
Okay? Now, what we have here is what we call the Florida white-tailed deer. It's also a direct relation to the Virginia deer, which are the large deer in the eastern side of the United States. You might notice that this deer here, he's about 6 years old and about 120 pounds. You'll notice how he's trying to rip the fence down right now, and that's because he's starting out what we call a rut season. His breeding season, when he loses all the felt off of his antlers and becomes very aggressive. I would invite you all in to pet him, but right now it tends to be a little dangerous. And this will keep going till about January when those antlers fall off. Then one of us will run in there and quickly take the antlers because we like to make knife handles out of them. And he's gonna grow a whole new set next year. It goes through it every year.
And on the other side is what, this is the buck and the other side is the doe?
Yeah, it would be the female, the doe. And major way you can tell the doe is she doesn't get the large rack that the male has, the large antlers. They say they don't get any antlers at all. I tend to find that to be wrong. I have found females with small spikes for antlers, but they don't get the large rack that the males have. Right now, the sharpening and rubbing of those antlers is preparing for breeding season. When he goes into breeding season, they have to compete to breed, and they want to have a nice weapon to compete with.
Yeah, each and every one, yeah, in and they are doe and each and every one, much when I'm the cute.
Each and Kacho Nang no nang loa, each in nang no ningo. Man tego, each in tagingo. La each of a later.
Very good, James.
Okay, well, what we're going to do next is I'm going to walk you back a little bit further in, and I'm going to teach you all about the snakes we have here and show you a couple really big, dangerous snakes, okay?
Very good.
Follow me. Now, before we get too far, I also want to introduce another animal that is commonly found here in Florida now. It's the common green iguana, or the spiny-backed iguana. We have a bunch of them here. All these were caught in the wild. Now, they're not from Florida, but what happens is a lot of people buy them as pets, and they release them when they get too big or too mean or even too expensive. Once they're released, they will live here in the Everglades, and they adapt, like many other animals that have been introduced. And they live here and they eat up food, but a lot of times they eat food that might be important to other animals, such as our marsh hare, or our possums, or different types of squirrel. So as this happens, we find out that a lot of our animals are not doing well because of animals that are not even from here. They're from South America. So when we see them, we catch them and we put them in this pit so people can see them and we can explain the importance of not releasing animals out into the Everglades.
The species of lizard and their families, you were saying?
Yeah, we have several different families of lizard. Lizard's a very general term. What we would carry this one as an iguanid. And there are also monitors and anoles. One of the most common anoles, especially further into the Everglades, it's the only anole that's native to Florida, is what we call the green anole. And they're small and they're bright green. They're about this big. And those are the only ones that are here. Now, most people see the small brown ones that are all over the place here in Florida. They're actually from Cuba, called the Cuban anole, and they eat the baby green ones. Once again, an animal that's been introduced is wiping out our native species.
She said, you know what? You have diabetes. I was very shocked.
To reduce your risk of getting diabetes, watch your weight, exercise, and avoid sugar and fat.
Eat the fruit, the grains, and the vegetables, and be active. It's hard, but if you want to live and be healthy, then you have to do it.
Alaska natives making smart choices for a healthy future.
Grandpa, we ate turtle meat, a fish called gar. Grandpa told me about panthers and bears, but most of all, he told me to beware when Alpati Chubi knocked your mitchkick out. Alpati Chubi poking gay one. Alpati Chubi in no bajijiwa. Alpati Chubi imajajiwa. As the days of the summers grew longer and hot, Grandpa took me on my first gator hunt. We pushed through sawgrass, willow slough, dugout canoe. The dog started sniffing something in the air. Grandpa said, must be gator over there. Better grab your knife and some rope. And remember what I told you when you was a boy. Halpati chubi nakunechkiga. Halpati chubi okinkeiwa. Halpati chubi hinugatijiwa. Halpati chubi himajajiwa. At the age of 12, I was sure of myself. I could catch alligators by myself. But my dog didn't know what my grandpa said. He jumped in the water by the gator's head. Halpati chubi didn't even pause. My dog disappeared in the gator's jaws. I can still hear my grandpa saying, Halpati chubi nakunechkiga. Halpati chubi okinkeiwa. Halpati chubi hinogatijiwa. Halpati chubi himajajiwa. Oh, halpati chubi nakunechkiga. Halpati chubi okinkeiwa. Halpati chubi hinogatijiwa. Halpati chubi himajajiwa.
Thank you for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska. If you're watching in Alaska, there'll be a schedule change for Heartbeat Alaska. Beginning in July, will be aired Sunday at 6:30. Please get on the radio and tell your friends. God bless every single one of you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
Halpati chubi.